Thank you. You stole my opener, I'm sure. Hey everyone, welcome to the 2 Drink Minimum show. Thank you so much for coming. This is an amazing, amazing turnout. My name is Miles Purinton. I'm the president of 2 Drink. Thank you. You can clap. I'm the president of 2 Drink Minimum. I would first like to thank Krista Minardi for taping this performance. She is doing so without a tripod, because I went to the library to rent the camera, and they gave me one. I said, could I have a tripod? They said, we're out of tripods. Meaning someone rented out just a tripod with no camera. But so thank you, Krista, for taping this. As I mentioned, I'm the president of 2 Drink Minimum. I actually generally don't tell a lot of people that I'm in this club, mostly because I always get the same response. People go, oh, you're in 2 Drink Minimum. Tell me a joke! Tell me a joke now! They're so demanding, and I don't think other stand-up or other comedy groups on campus really have that problem. I see some of the Fools on the Hill are here, and I don't think they have that problem. I don't think someone goes, oh, you're in Fools on the Hill? Improvise something now! Do a little improv or something. I mean, what do you want me to improvise? Oh, that's good. You came up with that right now? You can see why you're in Fools. Yeah, other comedy groups just don't have that problem. There's no one who goes, oh, you're in Beyond Therapy? You're terrifying. I'm clearly on cocaine. Please don't hurt me. Yeah, so, is there anyone else here who really wishes they were still on break? I can't believe it's already middle of February. I love going on break. I'm from New York, and I love... Did someone say woo? Yeah. Everyone from New York say, forget about it! Forget about it! Very good.
That worked well.
But I love New York during the holidays. I love it. Mostly because all of the shops have those wonderful holiday displays in the department store windows. Those are great. Although I saw one that made me a little bit wary this past break. It was a department store window that had a Christmas tree, and on the Christmas tree were menorah ornaments. Not actual menorahs, just ornaments in the shape of menorahs. And we're all agreed that's not okay, right? It's like, oh, let's take this wonderful symbol that symbolizes a miracle in the Jewish faith, and let's put it on a pine tree next to an adorable little wooden drummer boy. It'll be great. I mostly wonder who thought that would be a good idea, because was there someone who works at an, I guess, Christmas ornament manufacturing company who said, I have an idea. Let's try to appeal to the Jewish demographic. Oh, the Jewish demographic. We've been trying to tap into them for years. For some reason, they don't want to buy Christmas tree ornaments. I mean, I think a lot of people would say, it's people trying to be too politically correct, too PC. I actually really dislike that term, politically correct, because I think people use it as an excuse. They say, oh, you only dislike me because I'm not politically correct. I say, no, I only dislike you because you're an asshole. I do think sometimes people have good intentions. It goes a bit too far. For example, a great example of this is in standardized tests. On the SATs, there are always those problems, those math problems, where 3 people are doing something, and 2 of them have generic names, could apply to someone of any race, any ethnicity, and then there's one that's clearly just thrown in there to be diverse. So you get questions like, Alice, Tom, and Chandrashkahar. And then the problem with that, the reason it backfires is Chandrashkahar is always the worst at picking apples. It's not okay, because then you get, next step is questions like, Moisha is counting his money. What is the probability he'll spend it on menorah ornaments? So over the break, had to buy my parents some presents for the holidays. I got my mom something from Bath & Body Works. I love that store. The entire theme of that store is things that smell good. Although I do sometimes wonder about how they come up with the names of these different scents. For example, there was a pack of candles. It was 3 candles. Each had a different scent. And the scent names were coconut, cinnamon, and autumn wind. And that last one is not a scent, right? I mean, where do they come up with this stuff? I mean, there was another one, a good scent was moonlit path, which is great if you want to smell like a road. Or here's a good one, midnight pomegranate. Pomegranates smell great, but why the midnight? There's someone going, you know, I hate the smell of pomegranates, but this midnight thing intrigues me. Or maybe that's when pomegranates are the most fragrant. Like they also have a scent called 7:15 a.m. pear. But I mentioned got this as a present. Oh, they just got it. Go to Fools on the Hill. That was planned. But yeah, I got these as presents for my mom. My mom is like a lot of parents in that she tries to be really cool, and it doesn't always work. For example, a good friend of mine knows my mom, and she wanted me to say hi for her. So I come home and I go, "Hey mom, Emily said hi," and my mom says, "That's what she said." Because she'd heard about this joke that all the youth were telling to me. And I told her, "I don't get it." And my mom responds, "Well, that is something that she said. So that's what she said." The problem with that is I then had to explain to my parents the concept of "that's what she said" jokes. And that's really something your parents are supposed to tell you. It's like reverse the talk. But yeah, my mom also, you know, I'm an only child. We don't have any pets. She got very lonely when I went to college. Yes, it's very sad. But even sadder is my dad, to replace me, I guess, got her an African violet, which she pretends is me. And she has named it Irving. She gets very invested in this plant. I have been replaced by a plant. I'll call home. Very quiet. On my dad's side of the family, I have a lot of Scottish heritage. It's actually really cool. I can trace my ancestry back to being a Highlander, being in one of those Scottish clans. Yeah, like in the Mel Gibson movie Braveheart, where he's painted blues and is going, "Choose, choose Scotland!"
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm one of those Highlanders, and we always think, you know, they're really ferocious, the Scottish warriors. My family, my clan, the Fraser clan, is actually probably the least badass out of all the clans. You can tell this immediately by looking at the family crest. All of the clans have a different crest, and they'll have something cool on it, like a lion or a dragon or a wild boar or a sword. Or there is the very iconic lion riding a dragon while stabbing a wild boar with a sword. The Fraser clan is a little bit different, because on our crest we have 3 flowers. More specifically, they're strawberry blossoms. And one of them is named Irving. But yeah, we have 3 strawberry blossoms. I like to think that back in the day, they thought that was really ferocious. Like there was some Fraser going around going, "Feel the wrath of the strawberry blossoms! I'll turn you into a shortcake!" But I mean, really, just in general, we think of the Highlanders as really, really fearsome warriors. They actually weren't. They were incredibly ineffective. For one thing, their weapon of choice was the mace, which, for those of you who don't know, is a rock tied to a stick with string. Which is a very good evidence that even with the most basic materials, humans will find a way to invent something to bash in a skull. So we have the mace, and their entire battle strategy would be running towards their opponent while screaming. It was a scare tactic and was about as effective as if on a playground a bully comes up and says, "Give me your lunch money," and you say, "Boo." Especially keeping in mind that the Scots were fighting the British Army, who had cannons. Really wasn't good. They especially weren't very smart. You know, the British, in the last battle the Highlanders ever fought, the British told the Scots that they could choose where the battle would take place. and I'm not kidding, this was the Battle of Culloden. The Highlanders chose to run uphill through a swamp. A fucking bog. Like literally the worst possible place. I imagine that the entire battle went, "Feel the wrath of the strawberry blossom! Your blood will run red!" Ah! Fucking swamp cannon. You can go to the battle site at Culloden, and there's a little marker. It says, "Here is where the Highlanders started, and here lie the McDonald's." No one made it more than 2 feet. Yeah, so their weapon of choice was the mace. We still have something called mace, but it's a different type of weapon. It's the pepper spray. I think we should bring the original mace back. I think that would be great. Oh man, I was walking through the quad. This guy tried to mug me. He said, "Give me all your money." So you know, luckily I had my mace. I maced him. You sprayed him with pepper spray? No, I'm hitting him on the head with a fucking club. Much more effective. Poor old grandma, she's feeling feeble. We got her a mace. Mace is also a spice that you can use in cooking. And I think that would be disastrous if you accidentally got the pepper spray. Because you'd be cooking, the recipe calls for mace, you put that in, that would destroy your throat. But does anybody here like spicy food? Who here likes spicy food? Alright, if you really like spicy food, a lot of people would eat the dish with the pepper spray in it and not give in that it was killing their throat. Because I don't know about you, I love spicy food, but I love when people claim the spicier the better, then get a dish that is way too hot and don't want to admit it. It's great to watch because they're literally crying and their faces are bright red and they're going, "God! God, that's good!" You have some sriracha. It's a problem. I also think it would be a problem if someone meant to get the pepper spray, got the spice used for cooking. Because then someone goes, "Give me all your money." Ooh, chili. You know what I really like? Segways. You know what else I really like? Going to the movies. So,
Yes, Mom.
That was the most rehearsed joke that I had. I love going to the movies. I really like the marquees that have the film names on them, especially when the movie title is too long, so it cuts off part of the film name. Because I like to imagine I'm going to see that new movie, you know, Harry Potter and the Deathly Ha! I think my favorite instance of that was a few years ago, I went to see a movie, and it was only cut off by one letter, but it completely changed the nature of the film, because I thought I was seeing something called Charlie and the Chocolate Factor. Which sounds like a great movie, right? He worked in a nuclear power plant / bakery. Things were going well, but he'd forgotten about the chocolate factor. This summer, Charlie is Chris Walken. Oh, how could I forget about the chocolate factor? That's the most important factor out of all of the factors. More important than the fear factor even, you know. Boo! I gotcha. I'll turn you into a blueberry! Featuring Mel Gibson. Juice chocolate!